Well, here we go. CTF Aquarius is going to kick us off, one of my favorite game types to start a series with. Then we move over to Recharge Slayer, which historically has been a pretty good one for Optic Gaming. Then it's King of the Hill Solitude. Stronghold's Live Fire, if we get there, could be an absolutely crazy one with the speed that these two teams traditionally have played on that map. And then we go to Slayer Aquarius. Now, we set ourselves up beautifully. It's time for us to get into the gameplay now. It's an elimination semi-final. The road ahead is long for both of these teams to make it to a grand final, but they have to start somewhere. And starting on a Sunday, it always feels good, Andy. Let's get into some Aquarius.
It really does. Aqua CTF is a great way to start a championship Sunday. This is going to be fast. This is going to be furious. And these teams are going to be at one another's throat throughout the entirety of the game. What a way to kick things off here as a table setter for this series.
We're ready. Atlanta is ready as well. You can see the crowd starting to warm up here in the building, and it's because we've got one hell of a series to kick things off. We've got Pure, the underdogs, against Optic Gaming, one of the most established esports organization and championship-winning rosters you can put together.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Championship Sunday. Looks like the overshield does not go down. I'm not sure. That pre-nade there from Formal looks like maybe a miscommunication on timing. He had two players going for Obi. Lucid was one of them. In the end, he will be able to pop, and they will get the overshield, but not before losing two players. They're going to have to wait and now go forward. Two players alive for Optic, and all players spawning in the back of the base for Pure.
You're on the back foot at the start of this one. Look at the confidence from LastShot, by the way, just flying out. And we mentioned, is he going to be confident? Well, there is your answer. That is one way to place a marker on a series. Sees Formal, gets first shot and says, you're mine.
Sees Formal with the overshield and just flies out of the base, and in the end, perfect pre-nade and shuts it down. Great stuff from LastShot. You really couldn't ask for a better opening from him.
Oh, this is going to be a potential counter opportunity. A couple of kills going down on either side, though, and it's actually going to be TriPPPeY, who was trying to run that flag. But Cherished not only got that flag out of the base, now he's going back, challenging. He's killed one. He stopped the flag. But is there enough support around him? He's got a lot more work to do here. Cherished needs to live, but Deadzone doubles back, gets that kill, and he was the furthest player up for Pure.
Very good wait and bait on that flag from Optic Gaming. Very impressive. The fact they got that flag into the courtyard and then waited and baited, did not let that flag carrier get cut off. Here they come.
Trying to force this one home. Druk's inside of the base. He gets taken down by Deadzone. That flag is still moving. That flag will go home, and it's Optic Gaming who strike first here on Aqua CTF.
Cherished did everything he could in that play. It was a 1v2. Both flags were out. He tried to make something happen. He got the first kill, got damage on the flag carrier, but really wise from Optic Gaming once again to leave that flag court, not to make sure they let any more kills go. And in the end, experience pays off. However, Taulek right away answers back with a double. That's 3 dead for Optic.
3 dead for Optic. The first time we've seen multiple players in the death screen, and it's going to be interesting to see what Pure can do with this opportunity. One thing you don't have to ask for this roster is to get in the base, is to hold forward and start causing a ruckus. However, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Taulek to do here, as a couple of players have fallen on the pink side, and even though they were off spawn, Optic Gaming won the fight for the OV.
3 dead there as well. That's 4 dead. A staggered. A LastShot will fall as well. That means Lucid is going to be able to make something happen here. Drop slide with the flag as well means he's already essentially at the halfway mark, still full overshield.
Yeah, going to run this one towards the spawners. Even though there's 2 players in front of him, he should guarantee himself at least 1 kill. And now he can turn around, fight the other spawner while his teammate runs that flag. Still 2 dead here for Pure. This is another opportunity for Optic to put a flag in. Deadzone's got it back to the base. Deadzone's going to put this one home, and Optic will double their advantage.
Beautiful from Optic Gaming. A lot of really nice plays that get strung together to get that flag back home. Lucid, I love it, as you called it, the brute force there, with that just fly to the spawners. You have the overshield, run right at them, kill them on the way back. That's exactly what they do. Deadzone also with some really nice movement off of the flag block to make sure he got that win in single-handedly. They now lead 2-0.
I think the scary thing here for fans of Pure is the fact that Optic have pulled 2 flags and capped 2 flags, and it seems like their teamwork is on point, the communication is on point, because none of those overextenders, the disruptors of the team of Pure, who like to get behind you, like to get a flag moving, have been allowed to do so. No one has gone unaccounted for in the Optic base. Optic doing a great job of controlling the entirety of the map.
I agree. Really great game management from them, as you say. It's not just that they're killing everything in their sight, they're also making sure they have the complete control of the map and knowledge of where everyone is at any given time. It has really paid off for them. 3 dead yet again for Pure.
Cherished last alive as well, and Formal pick up yet another kill. It's been a pretty good start to the game for him. Formal is at 10-3, making 11 as he goes on a killing spree. Let's jump into a listening with Optic as they start this game hot.
Watch Peter, watch Peter.
Back pillar. Watch out the fridge, one shot in fridge. One shot in fridge, hiding, still. I should have pushed him. 2 there. Still in fridge, guys, still in fridge. I killed fridge. Okay. Oh, wait,
You're jumping Druk.
Yo, 2-shot P1 right now. 2-shot P1 their side, 2-shot on Obi.
On it. One shot, wait.
There's 2 there.
Look up.
Yeah, go up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3. Two going pink with it.
I'm hiding her right.
They're high all weak.
Yeah, jumping up, man, jumping up.
Yeah, they're pushing through, guys. They're pushing through. Go bottom mid. Freak the bottom.
Argent,
Out of it. Two shot Argent. Two arc flag. Pulling it out. Two there. Two arc claws.
Half shield.
Going high hall now. Druk high hall now.
No, we gotta kill spawners. We gotta kill spawners.
Yeah.
I'm fighting pink. Yeah, hear that.
Yeah, one guy car vents. One guy our vents.
I'm waiting.
Should be fridge.
Fridge good.
All
Okay, they're all
high.
Yeah, all car.
checking our feet. I'm checking our feet.
Go, one guy's in back flag on me. Half shields.
Here,
He has nades. Move back.
Hey, nice.
Car one with flag and a guy
I'm
fridge.
walking gen with
Car
combo.
two, car three, car one.
Our closet gonna go vent maybe? Could be vent.
Car one to the car jump, quick truck.
Yo, two dead. Car two.
One shot. You want two shot. Car two down.
One shot, car two. On touch, guys. One shot.
Yeah, give this one. Hold on,
Try to get to our gens, Dave.
yeah, one's going car one to our flag. Yo, come here, Jim. Yeah, I'm playing
Middle.
Yo, high hall. One shot our high hall. Two our gen.
Here, Jim, with the gym.
That's one here.
Half shield.
One shot. Oh my fucking god, bro.
I'm making their closet. Oh, guys, they're car jump. Low car closet.
Playing up big right now, guys.
I'm looking at Zane.
Yeah, you're pretty far out, Zane.
Car three. One shot, car three.
There's a lot to take away from the listening, and even though Pure got their first flag on the board, I think Formal's feeling himself in this game.
He is. You can just tell in those columns, right? Out shooting a lot of people. Also, a lot of great team shots coming in as well. He's not done just yet. Continues shooting very well. I got to say, also, just in terms of team communication and chemistry and the things that they're focused on, so impressed with that listening from Optic Gaming, as we said, once again, in the game management category.
16-7. That's Formal, baby. That's what he's doing in this first game. 2-1 is the score, and Optic Gaming, for the first time after that flag cap, find themselves having to do just a little bit of defensive work here. Deadzone's going to get a kill, which should allow TriPPPeY just to walk forward and send this flag back home. Deadzone's going to clean that kill up off the damage, and now you're going to see the Optic swarm. Eyes on the overshield. That's popping up as well, and that's 3 out of 4 overshields going to the side of Optic.
Was also 3 out of 4 dead there for the side of Pure. We'll see if they can string together another push. Going to be util spawns coming in, and you do get the feeling as this push comes into the back of the base that this one could be a pull off the stand as well.
I mean, a lot of damage being taken by Deadzone there, and you've got to actually give a huge amount of credit to the player on the other side of that. I think it was Cherished, if I wasn't mistaken, who managed to really use those nades effectively to negate the overshield. Druk is trying to be the disruptor though. Look at this, he's getting that flag moving on the car side. Taulek with the thrust will take down 4 more, but LastShot now will be the last alive as Optic managed to defend so well once again.
There was 3 dead there. Now back on board with TriPPPeY, and one thing I got to note is when you hear that Formal's 16-10 in a game, you do have the thought that it should probably be bigger than 2-1, right? And that's a little bit concerning for me. Really, the end of this game score is going to tell us a lot about how Optic's looking on Champ Sunday.
Couple of trades, most of them going in the favor of Optic. There's Formal again. Formal isn't losing individual battles at the moment. Every single time you're in his POV, it almost feels like he's expecting to win it. You can just see this look in his eyes. He is here to win a championship, but first of all, you've got to win this game. Lucid jumping up to top pink, a lot of pressure on him coming in from the respawners, but Optic with map control as well. You can see TriPPPeY inside of that gen. They're maybe thinking about getting that flag moving towards TriPPPeY and through the car side.
Also worth noting, a lot of eyes were on Formal in London, right? Not the tournament winning performance we expect from him, and you can just tell he's coming into this championship Sunday on a whole different level.
Looks like he's got a point to prove. 3 dead for Optic Gaming. Defensively, it's going to be Pure who win that battle this time, and we're turning our attention to the overshield once again. Now, Pure really haven't had much success when it comes to securing that overshield, but this time around, it looks like they've got some numbers on the pink side. They're also running a flag, which is splitting the decision-making process for Optic.
Yeah, let's see. Flag right now in the util. They do have 1 dead. They need to see if they can get across this bridge. Cherished is going to go for it.
Should be able to slide this one in. A little bit of damage, but there is an overextending TriPPPeY. He doesn't get the flag out of the base, though. He tried to throw it, and that makes the job a little bit simpler, maybe, for Pure. However, flag will be returned.
They got the re.
Lucid is going to be jumping up here, and it looks like they might have just about done enough here, and Optic kind of holding on.
My goodness. Down to the wire. Green ball chant in the arena, unsurprisingly, kicks off as well.
Formal now hunting for more. 21-14 at the moment. Slowed down just a little bit, but certainly statistics still on his side, and maybe that's a little bit of a catalyst here for Pure. It's a 4 dead situation, and 3 of the victims were thanks to that triple kill from Taulek.
Taulek goes straight to the shroom stairs. Take a look at that route specifically. Wants to make sure he forces the right spawns as well. 2 were dead. He's going to go for a util run here, and you have to wonder, they need to be careful. When there's all 4 players alive for Optic Gaming on that last run, I think everyone was worried if that flag was going to go. TriPPPeY got the last stand. Taulek looking to bring it back here and now.
the overextension though. There's two members of Optic in the base again. It's almost deja vu situation from what we saw a few moments ago, and surely Pure don't let this one happen once again. But look who's alive inside of the base. It's Deadzone. Druk will clean it up though. 3 dead on the side of Pure. However, Druk is deciding we're going to give this one up. The return will come in, and Optic managed to hold strong again, but boy, they are leaving it extremely late to get those flags back home.
Like you said, deja vu all over again as Taulek was running that one back. Guess what? 2 overextenders in the back of your base. They were unable to deal with them now, and with 2 dead on the side of Pure, and this flag now already in the util. This is dangerous. Another kill comes in. Optic Gaming gonna look to bring this flag shroom stairs. TriPPPeY with a great route on the flag, and he might even be able to bring it in himself. No, he gets taken down.
2 dead for Optic. Anyone there to clean up that flag and put it in to just create a little bit of separation? Yes, there is. His name is Tommy, and he's putting that flag home. Lucid makes it 3-1 in the favor of Optic.
Definitely a little bit of separation anxiety there for the side of Pure, not just in terms of how the players were split, but also now in the scoreboard as well. 2-minute warning on the clock, and Optic Gaming leads 3-1. Formal is 25-16.
Druk's got an overshield though. Druk has the ability to do damage. He has the ability to get in that Optic base, pick up kills, and start influencing where that flag is going. A little bit of a dance around the gen with Formal at the moment, decides to let him live, and they're going to try and cut across the front of car here with this flag. It's a smart route, but they need to deal with Formal, and Formal is still alive.
Let's see what he can do. Druk just trying to get damage here. LastShot gets a flag all the way to the back of the base. Keeping an eye on 2 dead for Pure.
Flag back to the base for the 3rd time, but Formal's still here. It's 4 dead, and they don't get it going again. It seems like Pure do the first part right, but they can never win that fight off the respawn. And Optic overextending, getting in the base, and now the counter cap might be on.
They have really made it too easy. Like you said, it's really been textbook kind of counter pushes and overextensions coming in from Optic that has stifled the side of Pure time and time again. 1 minute 10 on the clock.
It's a game that Pure might look back on if they don't take this one and think, hey, we had opportunities, we let it slip through our fingers, and that's the difference, right? A little bit earlier in the bracket, you might get away with that, but here, you ain't gonna get away with it because Deadzone loves to cap flags, as do Optic Gaming. They're up 4-1.
You don't get to see it every time, but a midship-esque toss up to the top of the base to bring that 4th flag in. Optic Gaming now doing it with style. They lead 4-1, 45 seconds on the clock.
It should be game now for Optic unless something crazy happens in this game, but I think Formal, he's probably thinking, can I get a 30 bomb? 26 kills on the board for him. On the other side, it's Taulek with 25 for Pure, but it really has been a kind of a story of close but not good enough from Pure in this. Optic, they have been clinical when they've been running those flags. Pure have had it back to their base a few times, but Optic have clutched up.
Yeah, they've also really played the full length of the game. You knew the fadeaway was going to come in from Formal. Almost does it again for the 2nd shot. 15 seconds left on the clock. As the deaths do come in, 4 dead for Optic Gaming for the moment, but really with only 10 seconds left, this will just be a base hold.
Yeah, you can just see the fist bumps are coming in. Optic know that they've done the work, and even though Pure might try and just gather a little bit of momentum, Deadzone says, you know what? I will observe this flag being run across the map because I know we've got the job done. Optic up by 1. A strong performance in the first game of the series here on Aquarius.
Really, really strong. Some H4F already not only in the chat, but also in the building as well. And specifically, the one thing I was saying when it was 2-1, I was a little bit concerned. That game should not have been 2-1. I was focused on where we ended score-wise in that game. That's going to tell us a lot about what Optic Gaming looks like for the whole of the day. The fact that that game ends 4-1, as it should have, because the stats and the kills were kind of leading that way, tells us that Optic Gaming was going to play that entire game slow and steady. They played it patient, and they put together a great Aqua CTF.
I think put together is a great phrase to kind of talk about, right? Because it felt like there was never an opportunity where Optic weren't playing as a unit. Even when those flag returns, right? Pure did a really good job to get 3 or 4 down, get that flag moving, but the way that Optic managed to almost get 3 or 4 back on the map and create kill opportunities to then overextend, get those last minute flag returns inside of the base. It was surgical, right? They knew the timing they had. They knew when those kills had to happen. Yeah. And all of the pieces were going together for them to have that success.
And I also have to say, each time, like we said, we said deja vu because that's exactly what it felt like. I was really surprised to see Pure continue to bring the flag to the bridge of the util and try to fight that battle there. Instead of maybe dropping and waiting, let your spawners, who are probably bridge spawners, fight a bit, drop the flag in util, and have a little bit of a back and forth dance. Instead, they had really predictable, straight out of the util door to the bridge, 2 players on the flag, and that's an easy nade for those flag overextenders. It was a little bit too easy, I think, for the Optic stops there, and I think Pure's going to have a little bit to think about, make sure they are just playing a little bit of a slower game and working together instead of trying to rush things.
Yeah, I think it's kind of what I mentioned in that game, right? You might get away with something like that a little bit earlier on in the bracket where you might be able to outshoot someone who comes off respawn, but this is Optic, right? They ain't gonna miss too many shots, and if you lose that battle on the mid-map, before you know it, the overextenders are in your base, and you don't have the timing window that you thought you did to run that flag in. I have to give a huge amount of credit to Optic, actually. I think it was, as much as it was on Pure, Optic did everything to make those decisions difficult for Pure inside their base.
I agree. Nice little toss here, as you saw from Formal. The Deadzone is going to bring that one in. It's a lovely little pass up to the flag. We'll take a look now at our series layout so far. Optic Gaming able to take that game number 1. You see still fist bumps. I like that energy, good energy coming in from the side of Pure. Still proud of what they were able to do in that game despite the 4-1 deficit. They did fight hard for 12 minutes of play. Up next is going to be Slayer on Recharge.
Slayer Recharge is where we head, so this is the one that you kind of look at and you're thinking, if you're Optic Gaming, you go 2-up in the series here. Do Pure have enough in the tank to win 3 straight? A huge opportunity now for Optic to really put their foot down here, and I just want to take a second actually before we head into this game to just talk about that Optic Gaming listen in. Formal was loud. Formal was winning individuals, and boy was he letting Pure know it. And when Formal's communicating like that, when Formal is pumped up on a Sunday like that, it's a scary proposition for anyone.
I agree. I think Formal's been here so many times, and oftentimes you just get kind of this high energy, but kind of just static Formal. He's just doing the job, doing the work. Instead, he's popping off right now. He's out shooting people, and he's letting them know the team is getting fired up. I think you can really feel that in the energy of Optic Gaming right now when we were in that listening.
Yeah, it almost feels like Formal lives for championship Sundays, right? Everything up until that point, he's there just because he has to be, because he wants to get to a Sunday where he can really start to assert himself on that main stage. But moving into game number 2 now, we have to focus on Pure a little bit as well, because we always know that game 2 Slayer is unpredictable. We don't know what's going to happen. You win that opening rush, you get an advantage. This series can be tied up at 1-1 before you know it.
And also, one thing I love during the Optic Gaming listen as well from Lucid as we start the game with his POV was, right in the middle of the game, he says, I should have pushed that. I love the honesty, kind of like just being straight up with each other, even in the middle of the game, saying, sorry, I should have done that. It just really builds the right kind of tone and momentum for this team.
Yeah, something we talked about in the build-up, right? It's tone. It's like how you're communicating. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. And I think Optic Gaming have taken that on board. As speaking of taking things on board, it's going to be Lucid who is going to have some fun, because he has camo, he has shock, and he's got 2 members of Pure already in the death screen thanks to his teammates.
It's exactly how they wanted to start the thing off. Gets another one, and just gonna once again pick apart his opponents clinically. 7-3 off the rip.
Druk trying to escape, trying to survive, manages to just about do so. But as you say, 7-3, it's a great start for Optic Gaming, and I mentioned how important that opening strategy can be to the tone that you set in this game. Optic are now saying to Pure, you come to us. We have the shock, we have the angles, we have the map. You're the ones who have to make a play.
Lucid's still alive here, and this is exactly what he wants to do. Just slowly, just pick his angles, take his time, wait for his teammates to get the right damage, and continue to move across the map. A little bit of an interesting battle there. Druk sitting low stacks and actually gets the trade as well. So nice job from Druk there to somehow at the bottom of stacks turn a 1v2 into a few kills. That brings the game within 2.
I was going to say, that's a really, really good job, Pure, there. No one was given a clear shot to Lucid with that shock rifle. And as silly as it sounds like, you don't need to give him a clear shot. Usually a 50% chance Lucid is going to hit it. But to continually bait him out, to continually just use that ammo up and create opportunities maybe to push space elsewhere, that's why you see them pick up those kills. Now you're seeing LastShot versus Lucid. He gets one and almost managed to convert to 2. But that push I was talking about, how they jiggle peeked around that shock, it kept the game close, right? It didn't get out of hand.
Druk does very well to get away there. Not easy. It does get cleaned up in the end, just because of great coverage and angles there coming in from Optic Gaming. And just like that, they now lead by a sizable number 5 here, as they continue to trap their opponents all the way in A. Lucid almost gets away, gets caught off on the Whirlpool angle. In the end, though, it's TriPPPeY with the camo, which is the big moment here. 4-kill lead.
2 out of 2 for Optic Gaming when it comes to power-ups in this game. And you would imagine they're going to try and negotiate a way for TriPPPeY to get towards a shock rifle as well. That's usually the power combination you see Optic love to give one of their players. By the way, who's leading the lobby once again? It's that man Formal. 8-3. And there's only been 15 kills.
I mean, unbelievable. 8-3 when the opponent's team only has 12. I mean, it's just huge numbers coming up from him once again. And you get the feeling that when Formal is firing on a championship Sunday, he is firing on all cylinders, right? This man only knows one gear, and it is the highest of gears. He's big in this Slayer as well.
He almost felt like Formal looked at Cherished though and goes, I will let you live. And he goes, actually, I'm going to take your life. He has that kind of power when he's playing like this at the moment. 18 kills to 15 though. It's been a little bit of a run here for Pure as TriPPPeY just has to slow down the momentum a little bit as Druk picks up yet another kill to his tally. 1v1 here at the top of gold. Can't miss too many shots at TriPPPeY. He'll win the individual.
We talked about eyes on TriPPPeY, right, in London. He even saw his tweet after London, and just in case you missed it, he said that grand finals is on me. He took all the accountability and knows that he needs to be present for his squad on this Champ Sunday. That was 3 dead for Pure, and that will now be a lead here for Optic Gaming, 23-16.
Well, you look at TriPPPeY, he's got 6 kills, and you think, hey, that's not that crazy. When you realize he's double positive with 6 assists, it starts to feel a little bit different. Now he's 7-7, just the 3 deaths for TriPPPeY. It's been a fantastic start for this man.
Once again, Formal just keeping up with the entire roster of Pure. Formal has 13 kills, Pure has 16. These are wild numbers coming in. 3 dead yet again for Pure.
It's a killing spree for Formal as well. Taulek might next be his next victim. Frag grenade goes down, Lucid will beat him to the kill, but 29-17. I mentioned how Pure kept it close. Well, that is not the case anymore. Lucid has a shock rifle. Formal's trying to find the player which is down on the stacks, but look at that cover fire from Optic Gaming. Formal doesn't know where he's getting shot from. By the time he finds out, the player's dead.
I mean, it feels like something out of a Hollywood film where you have your main character about to get taken down, but someone comes in with a fighter jet last second, just absolutely nukes the bogey. 32-20 now, 12-kill lead. It's getting out of hand.
Formal 15-5-6 in this game. I mean, you're looking across the stats, it's only Deadzone who's in the negative when it comes to KD, but everybody on the other side of the stage at the moment really struggling to get anything going. And I think the way back into this for Pure is you got to just slow down. You got to try and play around this camouflage that's going to be coming up and create yourself a scenario where you can stop trading and start putting together back-to-back kills. But Formal has 17. Just stay on Formal POV right now, please. This is getting out of hand. He's plus 10.
Unbelievable performance from him in this game, and to be honest, the entire series so far. Going to try to coordinate a push here with Deadzone at gold. They should be able to mop up these kills. Actually, in the end, gets taken down. It's a good effort from LastShot, and for the first time maybe all game, we saw 3 dead for Optic Gaming.
Okay, we can go off of his point of view for a few seconds. It's fine. It's fair enough. 17-8 though for Formal, and 37-26 is the more important score when it comes to how this series is going to be influenced.
Important to mention just how different this series is than the last one as well, as we hit the 37-26, 38-27 mark now. The last time these two teams played this game type was actually earlier in this tournament. It was only a narrow win from Optic Gaming. It was 50-46. Clearly, it's a very, very different Slayer here.
Here comes TriPPPeY, he'll get another kill, and it's just a procession, it feels, towards a map victory for Optic Gaming here. They only need 10. You would imagine Pure would avoid the steak dinner, but that's not a story you really want to be telling when you're in this elimination bracket semi-final. Formal, he's on 18 at the moment. There's a good chance he's going to drop a 20 bomb because he's found himself a shot.
Yeah, this is what a performance from him, and I think everyone looks forward to seeing Formal on a Championship Sunday, but it does feel that this has even a little bit more special quality to it on this day. 40-30 here on the home stretch, 6 minutes left. Goes for the camo steal. Taulek's going to snag it instead. Excuse me, does get the camo steal.
I was going to say, he stole it away, but the problem was there's just too many players to contest with in and around. If he hits a headshot there, then maybe we're talking about how great it is for Optic, and this is the road home. But we mentioned how there's an opportunity. This is the opportunity, right? Taulek, he has the camo, he has the shot, but he's going to have to go on the run of all runs, just knowing trades isn't going to be enough for them to win this game. Does he get the stick there? Yes, he does. But again, it's a 1-for-1, right? And it's not going to close that difference we have between the score enough.
Yeah, is it too little too late is the question. Right now, 44-35. It's not impossible as a 36 gets tagged by Druk. They could do this, but they're going to need to play fantastic Halo over these next few spawn rotations to get back into the game.
One thing that Optic aren't going to do, though, is allow you to get a little bit of momentum. You see, Deadzone just playing a corner here, just waiting for some teammates, making sure that anyone who takes damage, they're going to be in a position to trade, and it's not going to be a case of Pure just running over spawners for a few minutes. Cherished has no idea. There's the remote detonation. There's the trade. The trap was set, and Deadzone does his job.
Yeah, really well done there. And like you said, at this point, they're going to be happy to trade. They get 2 there, 46-38 now, and now it starts to feel out of reach for Pure.
TriPPPeY gets yet another one as well. It's 3 to go. As Lucid looks to clean up onto LastShot. That's exactly what he will do. Optic now decide it's time to push. Couple of players trapped on the elevator. Deadzone will find one. It's 49, it's 50 as TriPPPeY will close out game number 2. Optic Gaming looking scary here in Atlanta. They're up 2 in the series.
And even scarier than day 1. As we said, the last time these two teams played that game type, it was 50-46 down to the wire. 50-39 is a very different scoreline. The same can be said about game number 1. That was a narrow 4-3 Aqua CTF win in the first series. And instead now Optic Gaming showing, no. This is the green wall in Sunday Whites on Championship Sunday. They are ready to go here. And they are looking even better than they did on day number 1. They now lead 2-0.
Those two combining in that game for a huge amount of kills and damage. Lucid and Formal. Usually the players we're looking at as the source of all things good for Optic Gaming, right? If Formal is doing damage, usually the rest of Optic are playing off of it, and Optic look good. If Lucid is at the top of the KD leaderboards, it means that the machine is working in the way that it should be. Optic look imperious here at the start of this series.
It really is. I mean, normally I would say that this is a Lucid versus LastShot battle, right? This is your standout slayers, and if they are performing at 110%, their teams will win. Guess what? Optic also has Formal, right? The fact that you have that thrown into the mix, yeah, it just goes, you go down the list of powerhouse players, and I think right now we're seeing the experience pay off. That was our question before the series. What will Pure do with far less, you could say decades less, total main stage experience? And right now, Optic Gaming is showing that the experience is paying off.
We'll take a look at some of the replays from that game number 2. They're going to be heavily in the favor of Optic, and I think heavily in the favor due to the control of the camouflage early on, right? It was 2 in a row they managed to get, and from there, just establish that little lead. We always talk about in Slayers, right? If you get the power up early on, you get yourself a 3 or 4 kill lead, you control the pace of the game. You can say, you can come to us. You have to overextend to our positions. You're going to run into our lines of fire. And before you know it, that lead can really start to look like a little bit more of a chasm than a gap between the two teams. Formal, though, I mean, I've got to say, I haven't seen Formal in this kind of mood, it feels like, for quite some time. When you go to the listenings, when you're looking at the statistics, he's looking hungry, man.
Got to also mention, not only did Formal go 19-13, he also tied the team for most assists. I mean, it's wild. You can't, I mean, dropping numbers like that, as well as the assist category, is outrageous. Like you said, it's a different level of Formal. We'll take a look at the map layout in just a moment to see where we are in this series and still what's yet to come. King of the Hill Solitude, by the way, going to be up next. One thing we got to mention, the last time these two teams met on Friday, every single game was down to the wire. There was no outlier where any team had a blowout win. So the fact that Optic has now sent these two kind of messages across the bow tells you that they are ready for game number 3 as well.
Yeah, it's been, I would say, game 1, maybe a little bit of missed opportunity for Pure with some of the chances they had. Game 2 wasn't close. It never felt close. And now we head into match number 3, and we take a look at these King of the Hill matchup records. 1-5 for Pure is not what you want to see when you see the Green Wall standing at 11-3 on the other side of things.
Yeah, especially if we also look at the last time these two teams kind of played a territory-based game type. It did go to Pure very narrowly on live fire. We'll have to see if they can try to take that momentum and take those learnings into this King of the Hill matchup as well.
Yeah, King of the Hill, I feel like, is a game type that really lends itself to the ideas behind how Optic want to play, right? Map control, all about holding down angles, all about supporting your teammates and not being forced to overextend. Again, saying, you come to us, Pure, whereas if this was a Strongholds, for example, on another map, then maybe I'm thinking, Pure, this is your game type where you can fly, you can be disruptive, you can catch players off guard. But for Optic, it feels like if you're getting a game 3 and you're 2-0 up in this series, that we could be getting the broom out a little bit early here on a Sunday. Starting off a Formal, why wouldn't you? The man's been taken over.
Exactly. Who else do you start with after the numbers that he's been putting up? I think one thing that's important to note with these two teams, and especially when we talk about the side of Optic Gaming, sounds like we're going to have a reset here on that matchup on the main stage. But one thing I want to talk about as well is Solitude specifically. We didn't get to see this exact game type get played in their first series, but we did see them play Slayer. And Pure was able to win that Slayer on Solitude 50-45. So it just tells you that they know what they're doing on the map. Now that should come as no surprise, but to be able to put a tournament win up against Optic Gaming on that map tells you that they might have some hope here in the game number 3.
Some hope for sure, but then you put the context of the series, right? And it's like, we have some hope, but even if we win this, we have to win 2 more. We're already thinking about, oh, this is the end of our tournament because we're 2-0 down. Is this going to be a last game? Right. All these things that essentially are irrelevant to actually what you're doing in the game are what play in your mind, right, on a Sunday. And
especially without the experience.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Shopify Rebellion, right? Learning to Sunday is a completely different proposition to playing on a Saturday, to playing on a Friday, because these things you don't have to think about until you get here. It's a completely different situation, a new situation for a lot of these players, and maybe they're starting to let that kind of overwhelm them a little bit when it comes to some of the moments in these games.
Yeah, I think a lot of fans of these players would have hoped they were just going to kind of come in just guns blazing and really catch Optic Gaming off guard. I think what we're seeing is not necessarily a lack of that from Pure, but simply the experience of Optic Gaming. And not just that, I think Optic Gaming, with the continued second place run that they've had, let's not forget, right? We are in July here, right? It's been 7 months of this season where Optic Gaming has been able to look at these lands and been placing second. Not the place where a team that has been world champions previously wants to be. So I think not only do we have the focus of them for this Champ Sunday, I think you also have kind of pent up aggression on this Optic side saying we want to prove to everyone that we are yet still the best in the world, and they're bringing that already to this first series.
It's a great story to actually talk about the Optic Gaming one, right? Because we're like, oh, it's the disappointment of second. That's the standard you hold them to.
Yeah.
Second place is not what we expect. It's not what they expect. It's not why they made the team change when Deadzone came into this lineup. And I think one thing to kind of keep in mind is it's very rare you see success immediately with a roster change, right? Usually it takes an event or two. Wes always talks about peaking at the right time of the season, right? Maybe this is the time to start peaking for Optic. 2 second places is a phenomenal start.
Yep.
If you look at it in the grand scheme of things for a new roster, a first place just at the end of one of the splits and heading towards Worlds, that could be a really good time to do it.
You bring up a great point. I don't think also everyone's really realizing the timeline of these teams. Let's not forget, FaZe, right? FaZe picks up Renegade. It takes a little bit of time for things to get into a first place form. I think with Optic Gaming, you're seeing potentially the first part of that story arc as well, just like you say, as we're right back into the game here. Game number 3, Optic Gaming leads over Pure 2-0.
Well, Lucid finds out that the restart isn't going to help him because Cherished knew exactly where he was going and managed to delete him almost immediately. Cherished is going to get that camouflage as well after winning that individual battle. So this is something that we needed to see, right? A little bit of power-up control here for Pure, and they managed to do that in the hands of Cherished.
Cherished doing very well to make sure he doesn't get caught off on LR, but he's not able to do damage because they just really stacked all over LR as well as Glass. Going to try to get behind Lucid once again.
Going to wait a little bit of trigger discipline there to make sure that he didn't give Lucid the opportunity to trade in that situation. And now he's going to step in the hill because Optic Gaming find themselves 3 dead, but TriPPPeY was still alive.
He was, and the Cinderella moment there as clock strikes midnight, the camo disappears, and he all of a sudden is very much within the sights of TriPPPeY. It's a difficult place to be, and as a result, Optic Gaming will have more time on the board on this scrappy hill bottom middle.
And there's no one on this Optic team, I think, who wants to prove a point more than the man on your screen, right? TriPPPeY. You mentioned it, disappointed with his finals performance, said it was on him. And to be honest, there hasn't been too many big moments so far this season. So far this tournament though, he's been putting in some of those performances, some of those 50th kills. They've been going to TriPPPeY. And we'll have to see if he can keep that momentum up and right the wrongs of the season so far.
For just a moment there, Pure leading in the kills category as well off the opening. Not necessarily in the progress bottom middle, however, making sure that they have the kills as well. And with these two teams, you know this bottom middle hill is going to be a long one. It's going to be scrappy.
Sunday's going to be scrappy, and LastShot looking for opportunities for kills before they even think about that objective. 24 seconds till the camo's coming up as well, and with 2 members of Optic falling, now it's time to maybe just dip a toe in that hill. Taulek's going to get another one, and Lucid's going to be trapped on the snipe tower. So it looks like they have information potentially on where Optic spawns are coming in. If they can collapse and get these kills, there should be time going over to Pure.
Very nice damage coming in here once again from LastShot. One thing we got to talk about the man on your screen, he's largely been silenced this series, and a lot of fanfare for him for good reason over the course of the weekend because of how well he's been playing, but Optic Gaming has really shut LastShot down in this series, and I think it showed in the series score.
It's interesting, isn't it, that Pure weren't able to collapse onto that spawn as efficiently as they would have wanted to. Maybe it was the distraction of that camouflage that dragged them away from those spawners of Optic Gaming, but even though they've got it, and Taulek had to do something special to get them in this position,
Enemy team took the hill.
they've still got a lot of work to do to secure this hill. At the moment, nobody really been able to dominate the hill. As we know, it's a little bit scrappy, this bottom middle one, but trades are going back and forth for kills.
Who was Driveway that absolutely lights up LastShot on the pillar with camo? He's trying to play a little bit of a sneaky play around posters and just pick his target. Someone goes Driveway and just like sees the shimmer and lights him up, and the camo gets shut down immediately. That's going to actually decide this hill.
It's pretty crazy, right, how good people are at spotting the camo these days. Like, my glasses are getting thicker and thicker just to see the 42-inch monitor in front of us, and people can see that in-game like it's absolutely nothing. Formal does manage to get this last little bit of heal time, though, as Optic play off the back of their kills and will be up by 1-0. Now you're in the deep end, Pure. You're down in game number 3. You're down 2 in the series. It's time to show us what you're made of.
By the way, Pure is outslaying 22-19, and that hill was very, very one-sided. It just once again shows you the objective efficiency and the positional efficiency coming out of Optic Gaming here as they now lead 1-0. They get that first hill, however, Pure with some good progress on the board, 50% of the way done on our hill number 2.
Yeah, I was about to say, the rotation was 1. They picked up 3 dead. TriPPPeY was last alive. He got eliminated. All of Optic was spawning in blue, and there was a full setup for Pure. They're making the most of this. I asked, show us what you're made of in this situation where they have answered back almost immediately. Optic Gaming are giving this one up. They're rotating away, and this is going to be surely a hill to Pure, but maybe they're going to try and pick up some slays beforehand.
Look at this, a little bit of a cheeky, as you said, they're going to outslay and they're going to overslay here. They're not finishing the hill just yet, and they're going to wait to make sure they can have a good rotation as well.
Ammo's coming up as well, a couple of kills here, and they might be able to lock down not just power weapons, but power-ups as well. TriPPPeY and Deadzone may slow down that decision, as it will be Pure who get that second hill of the game and tie the game up at 1-1, and now they find themselves 2 dead. Camo goes into the hands of Lucid.
I respect the play from Pure there. They tried to wait and bait and try to make sure they got the damage, at least, hopefully the kills, but at least the damage off of the rotate to time the hill. It didn't work out for them. In the end, they're going to have to reset here. It's going to be camo control and early time on the board in hill number 3 for Optic Gaming.
Not only control of the top of snipe here for Lucid, but Optic have control of blue as well, so you can see how far away that Pure are having to spawn. The chokes they're having to fight their way through. It's very, very difficult to do, and once again we're getting an indication of some very, very good eyesight on this main stage right now, as Optic do pick up 2 kills. Lucid managed to keep his life, and Optic step inside that hill. They're almost the 3rd done.
These monitors are getting better and better, let me tell you. There, everyone just eagle-eyeing camo and shooting it out before it can be really a big factor here. 2 dead, might be 3 dead on Loop in just a moment. And still more time on the board for Optic Gaming.
Love that decision though. He doesn't have to kill him. He knows that if he leaves him there with that damage done, then teammates are going to be spawning closer to Druk than they are that hill, right? So just let him live. He can come back and he can fight another day. He can try and get across that map. And at the moment, Optic are looking to answer back the perfect hill for Pure with a perfect one of their own. They are so close to going up 2-1 here.
Good damage coming out of Lucid there, working together with TriPPPeY and Cafe. In the end, it will be 4 dead for just a moment there for Optic Gaming, and now we will see time on the board for Pure, but really no room for error. They need to make sure they hold, and they hold the entire time here, which is going to be very, very difficult given the progress on the hill.
There is one player in blue here and should be taken care of. 2 players will fall for Optic Gaming as Cherished will fall on the side of Pure. This could be time here for Pure, and will be time. Optic Gaming find themselves 3 dead. Lucid just come off the respawn as well, so now it's time to take inspiration from what happened to you on this hill. You know you can get a big chunk of time if you set up and hold convincingly. Pure left it late, but they get that break, and now they're starting to pick up kills and starting to find a little bit of momentum here.
I like the play from Druk. Ooh, formal with that camo is going to be tricky, but I love the play from Druk to bail out of the hill. You need to, when you're playing a team like Optic Gaming, have your hill guy bail out, get the slays, and then jump back in. Formal though, big moment here. Look, tied up on this hill.
Look how tight Pure are playing though. They know the Formal is somewhere with this camouflage, and now they get the information. Can anyone get a nade there? Can anyone take Formal down? Pure is staying inside of this hill. Formal wants to push, but it's not going to be able to. Druk with the shock rifle takes him down, and Pure, they turn this hill around. They'll be up 2-1 now.
Absolutely beautiful from Taulek. He's sitting in hotel. He's on a 1v1 with Formal, who has camo on the truck, and Taulek lays down the shots beautifully. Stays alive. All Formal can do is try to get some cheeky nades there with the plasma's bottom middle. And guess what? Both players from Pure actually bounce out of the hill. They don't take the nade damage, and then they cleanly finish it out. For the first time in this series, we are seeing Pure showing up.
Deadzone gets taken down as well, but does manage to get a trade. It's 2 dead, 3 dead on the side of Pure, and Optic are probably feeling the pressure now, as there's 1 minute and 22 left on this game clock. If they find themselves getting taken out of this hill, Pure have options. Do they play time? Do they try and play for the hill? Optic find themselves under pressure for what feels like the first time in the series.
Absolutely. Let's not forget, Optic Gaming remembers how close their series against Pure was earlier in the tournament and went all the way to Game 5. They don't want to go anywhere near that. They want to make sure they're ending it here.
LastShot's going to fly through. He's going to get taken down. 2 dead on the side of Pure. Formal recognizes there's time for some hill time, but first of all, we've got another job to do, and that's clean up the damage that was done onto Druk. Pure starting to look a little bit ragged on this push, starting to look a little bit desperate, trying to force them out of the hill. And Optic, they've almost been perfect here.
They really have, and they are once again not wanting to go anywhere else in this series, ending it here, just holding it down on driveway.
TriPPPeY with 18 kills in this lobby as well. I said how he's had a little bit of a return to form in this tournament. Well, Optic, they return to parity in this game. We are tied up at 2-2.
Oh, and TriPPPeY hitting shots like that, the fadeaway there onto LR. Might even get another one, should get another one. Little shot in the toe means a 2v2 on the map.
It's 20 for TriPPPeY. As Lucid will find another kill onto LastShot. TriPPPeY tries to fly out to support him, maybe just gives away that death, and Pure, they're doing a good job at the moment of controlling the snipe side, but here comes Formal, baby. He's gonna find 2. Another player in and around that hill is gonna be lit up by that icon, but Formal playing it slow. recognizes he needs to wait for this help.
Love that from Formal. No need to go, even though he got the double, probably could have been fired up and flown in for even more kills, especially knowing his skill, but instead just takes his time, waits for help here, and starts to get a little bit of time.
Trying to bait away maybe some of those reticles from players towards the hill. 2 dead on the side of Optic Gaming. Formal in the 1v1, it's LastShot who wins it though. And it's gonna be Pure with 3 Optic Gaming members in the death screen who are standing inside of this hill. 39 seconds left on the game clock. Half of this hill has been captured, and Optic, they are trapped inside a loop.
Very nice peek shots from here. Look at the damage coming in. It's a 1v1 LastShot versus Formal. Formal gets away, LastShot gets away from the Formal battle, but for the first time we saw some good damage. TriPPPeY probably flanking from Cafe. 3 dead here for the side of Pure. Cherished is your last player alive.
Cherished is last alive, and he's getting chased down as well, and Optic, even though they get that kill and the trade comes in, Pure will know that Optic have broken. And this is the opportunity that Optic were desperate for. Formal, sat up on the snipe tower, sat here with this shock, has a chance to change this game.
Here's the question, how big is that trade from Cherished? Does it allow them the gap now, the space? Formal does not hit the shots that he needed to. 2 fall for Optic Gaming. Here comes the Pure push.
Here comes the Pure push. Druk is gonna fly. Formal! It's gonna eliminate him though, and those are the shots that can turn games around.
Oh my
Pure's still
God.
inside of this hill though, and even though the shots are great, even though the shots are clean, it's Pure who are inside of this hill.
Can he
Formal!
stop it? No!
Formal!
Hits the double, but he does not stop the hill. He does not stop the hill. 3-2, 27 seconds left on the clock.
I mean, Pure will get the hill, even though the heroics from Formal came in, but just the timing wasn't on his side. The stack on the hill for Pure was enough. They're up 3-2. 25 seconds left on this game clock.
Needs to be perfect here from Optic. 20 seconds left to finish this one out and tie the game. Pure knows they just need to slay out. First kill goes to Optic Gaming here. 14 seconds left.
What a back and forth we are seeing in these last few moments, but Pure, they're here for a reason on Championship Sunday. They are giving as good as they get, and with Optic Gaming finding themselves with 2 members in the death screen and 1 player inside of that hill, surely with 4 seconds left, it's gonna be Pure who'll get their first game on the board.
Lucid has to fly in. Formal has to fly in as well with 1 second left on the clock. That should really be it in no moment.
It should be it, but I've seen funnier things happen, and it's not gonna happen this time around. Pure show some signs of life. Series now at 2-1. Optic still 1 game away from closing out, but now they've got some questions to answer.
And what's terrifying is we were a few frames away from seeing one of the best Halo Infinite clips we have ever seen. Formal decides to take a very long route back to the hill, gets all 4 kills, but in the end, it is just a second or less too late as Pure finishes that top snipe hill just in time and is able to trade kills long enough for the following 27 seconds to ensure that they now get a game on the board. Once again, they win that territory-based game type. They did it in the first series as well, and now things are a lot more interesting, Mark.
There's a reason that this team are here on a Championship Sunday, and I'm talking about Pure. There seems to be this brotherhood almost on that stage, right? There's a cohesion, there's an understanding, there's a willing for each other to have success, and you saw it in those final moments of that game. Everybody, even with Formal popping off in the way that he was with that shock rifle, kept their eyes on the most important part of that game, which was securing those final moments of hill time. And even in the carnage of the last few seconds where Optic are desperate in that bottom middle hill, Pure held strong enough and held strong on some of those hills they captured as well.
I gotta say,
And let Optic know they're in a series there.
it's gonna seem small, but Cherished trading from S1 to Hotel. You cannot overstate this play as well from Taulek. I was going nuts about this. It was a really, really nice set of teamwork there, and Taulek eagle eye on the camo on truck with Formal. But Cherished trading from Hotel to S1, it's gonna look like the smallest non-event in the game from an outside perspective. That paved the way for them to get to Cafe faster. They were in a 3v3 off the break. Formal doesn't hit the shot from snipe to Cafe, and it allows them to make that push. Here was this play from Formal though. He almost does it.
Yeah, I want to see the game,
crazy.
the hill clock here, right? How much time did he have? Oh, it's like half a second, 1 second maybe away.
I would say half a second.
One of the most
Few frames.
incredible hill-saving clips. I mean, the clip itself is incredible for individual skill, but the timing could have been better for everybody to be talking about it for a little bit longer, and it's Pure who hold on. Not just in the game, but in the series and in the tournament with that game win. Let's take a look at some of our maps we've got coming up though, because we're starting to go deep in the series here, Andy. We're heading over to Livefire Strongholds. And Pure
Guess what?
may be raising a little bit of an eyebrow here.
Pure won this game 250 to 238 when these two teams met earlier this tournament. This is a big one for them, and they currently have a big opportunity, without a doubt. Let's also not forget that Pure won another Slayer in that first series as well. They want to go to Game 5.
I mean, look at the stats coming in on either side of the stage. We have Druk and Lucid to look at. The KD's phenomenal from both. These are the stronghold statistics, of course, from here in Atlanta. One thing that's standing out to me, how fast does Druk play? He's getting over 2 kills per minute. You compare that to former 1.74, who's usually getting a lot of kills. This man flies.
He flies, and they are going to look to fly here. It is wild to think that we're now headed to a Game 4 that has already been won by Pure. As we fly right in, and we are wasting no time. We are right into the gameplay here. And this series looks a whole lot different than it did about 15 minutes ago. Now, Pure is back in this series, and they are facing Optic Gaming in a game type that they've already beaten them on this tournament.
Cherished gets the kill onto TriPPPeY, managed to get that second beatdown. And look at the start here for Pure, by the way. They're looking for a triple cap. He's going to be flipped by Optic Gaming, but they might be able to pressure this because they have the sniper rifle to lock down the big door on B. But Optic do manage to get 4 back on the map. But early scoring, control, snipe, everything you would want from Pure to continue the momentum from the last game.
It really is, and LastShot has been largely just shut down and silenced here. He really wasn't even that loud in that last game. It was a team effort. We have to see if he can pop off here. Optic Gaming has really kept him to a minimum.
Well, Deadzone's got some decisions to make here because he was trying to play the buddy system with Formal, but Formal just got evaporated by a combination of, I think, a body shot and a headshot. So Deadzone playing for some kills, trying to be sneaky, trying to draw the attention away, but at the other side of the map, look at Pure, trying to flip A themselves. The camo dissipates, and now you can see that Deadzone probably feels a little bit vulnerable. LastShot's going to stay alive and keep that snipe instead of trying to challenge. But Deadzone will accept the challenge, and now he has the snipe as Optic turn, control, and scoring in their favor.
QT as well, might even keep him alive even longer. Gonna do whatever he can to stay alive in these back pillars. Cherished wants to have a word with him, but
Was he alive?
But just stays alive just long enough and even leaves the QT. Gonna fight to live another day.
That is a crazy play coming in from Deadzone, and you cannot forget about him. He's gonna come in with a backstab here. Look for the second one on the tower as well. Maybe just the reload saves Taulek as TriPPPeY moves in to clean it up. Great teamwork coming in from Optic here.
Points on the board once again. About to see a lead change here if this continues. 2 dead for the side of Pure. And Deadzone ready for more faces.
Maybe this is the game that Deadzone starts to take over a little bit. Body shot connects with Taulek there to take the shields down. Now more pressure coming in, and not surprised to see him maybe repeat that one, having hit some nice shots already.
I was gonna say, I love the confidence out of Deadzone there. Most players against a team like Pure, you'd be risky to repeat. No, Deadzone's gonna go right back in to fight for more. By the way, during all of this control, it is continued scoring for the side of Optic Gaming. They now lead by 20 after an early lead for Pure.
It's a killing spree here for Deadzone as well. Look at Druk, he's being so horrid to deal with on the top of that tower with the repulse, but there's the help again. This time coming in from TriPPPeY, and the score is starting to stack up here. Optic Gaming taking control of B, and it's going to be a momentary triple cap for Optic, and that scoring's only going one direction.
And you can just tell that they're not taking this match lightly, and they also know that they've already lost to this team on this exact game type. They are really playing very, very calculated Halo here. Starting to lose C, but TriPPPeY with the camo in hand.
Interesting to see they're losing stronghold control. Considering they had some numbers on the map momentarily there. 2 dead for Optic. Deadzone will get yet another kill. It's been a great start for him. He's only had 1 death so far in this game for his 7 kills. But A and B has been flipped. So Pure, making sure they're fighting in and around those strongholds and saying to Optic, hey, you can have a little bit of map control, but we're going to be in the scoring points.
Also love the rotate there from Pure. It was a trip cap for just a second. They knew they were going to lose C, and right away they get the rotate to make sure they still hold the double cap. And just like that, they're right back in this game. They're down by less than 15.
3 dead though, LastShot last alive. Deadzone trying to peek, get the damage in, waits for the help coming in from TriPPPeY. Once again, just some textbook gameplay, but look at LastShot.
What is he doing? What is he doing
alive? He just expected TriPPPeY maybe to get that kill, and that's not so easy against the guy who's been playing at the caliber that LastShot has. Deadzone though, he'll get a kill of his own here on Druk. There's the second, he comes back for more! It's a frenzy for Deadzone!
And just when you might have been getting excited about what LastShot had just done in B, Deadzone says, actually, I think I'm gonna take control of this story. It's a killing frenzy, a beautiful double kill, and now Deadzone is popping off. He's 10-1 in this game.
10-1, that is a phenomenal stat line, and I always remember this man popping off at the first Halo World Championships that we had back on Halo 5 with this weapon in his hands, and at the moment he's continuing to do it. The triple cap is stifling. It's 3 dead, it's 4 dead for Pure, and Deadzone's having fun.
Oh man, and you just got the feeling that For a second, LastShot had a little bit of limelight, and Deadzone says, I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to shut down everything. Greenwald chant in the room, and he is still 10-1. TriPPPeY still scoring. They are suffocating Pure in this game, number 4.
143 and rising. Deadzone looks at the stick, somehow stays alive. He's got the QT, don't forget about that one. And now the Optic Gaming members start to arrive to collapse onto A, see if they can get that reset. But finally, the triple cap is broken, as Deadzone and Lucid will be the last 2 players alive. Taulek, well, he's unkillable at the moment, apart from the ones.
After that first death, finally gets taken down again, 11-2. Lucid, by the way, also 11-6. Just huge slaying numbers that are coming in. 22 kills alone coming in from Deadzone and Lucid combined. Finally, Pure will start scoring again, but not before they found themselves really on the receiving end of about a 100-point run.
Camo's coming up as well, and we have to say Optic have had control of that for the majority of this game. So maybe this is an opportunity now with a double cap and some kills going their way for Cherished to put his eyes on this Camo and try and lock it down for his teammates. Formal's going to be challenging. Formal's going to be poking, and Formal's going to be grabbing. Now, can he get away? That's the question. Backs up, says, don't worry about me. Take your attention towards someone else. It will be Optic who get that Camo.
152 now to 94. Still scoring on the board for Pure, so they're keeping this game respectable and close. But as you say, here comes the push from Formal.
Big push coming in. It's a 3-man, it's a 4-man push onto B here. They get 2 kills, they get 3 kills. They might have even got them all, because Druk is last alive, and he's working on C at the moment, and TriPPPeY is already on his way to maybe do the jump up or take the slightly longer route to try and deal with him. Druk gets one onto Lucid though, and there's going to be the kill coming in, but LastShot got another one. Optic Gaming find themselves 3 dead, but TriPPPeY makes the numbers a little bit more comfortable with that double.
Yeah, it's a good counter there coming in. We'll see if TriPPPeY can win this 1v1. If so, things will be netted up, but it's a really nice counter. Once again, Druk was the last player alive on C. He finishes C, he waits for dummy spawners, and they're able to put together some really good kills. So they're right back in this. They're going to cap C, and they're scoring again. The game is within 60, but still quite a deficit. Optic Gaming here leading.
Interesting to see the pattern of this game, right? It's Optic Gaming dominance early on. So what we saw in the last map, right? And then Pure managed to just find a little bit of a footing, find their way back into this game, and then they managed to clutch up at the end. The scores are getting a little bit closer, although Optic will be scoring for now with the A-B hold. 2 dead for Pure. They're thinking triple cap right now.
TriPPPeY dodges the green gun. That's big. If Druk wins that green gun battle in A, this entire sequence is completely different. But because TriPPPeY wins that, last player alive, Druk once again back at the base. It's going to be more scoring, more points on the board. It's crazy how these 1v1s and strongholds, they really pave the way for the next few spawn rotations.
They certainly do. 2 cap here. He's going to be held as Optic wins his individual. Little poke on the big door. Little poke with a sniper rifle from TriPPPeY as well, just to give a warning shot. And let them know that that is not going to be an easy route for them to take. B is going to be the push though from Pure. Look at this. They do flood it. They do try and put pressure on, but Optic are playing the ends. They flip things. But the reset does come in on both of those strongholds respectively.
TriPPPeY just holding and forcing LastShot into a terrible angle. That's why TriPPPeY was just slowly playing that back ramp. You can really do that. Just get opponents to go into your crosshairs exactly the way you want to. And man, does he make LastShot pay. However, it is 3 dead for Optic Gaming. Lucid was your last player alive. Game still within now. A reasonable comeback territory, but it's a 100-point lead or so for Optic Gaming.
Yeah, not too many mistakes left in the bag here for Pure. 116 points and rising. Cherished gets a double kill. They need to start riding off this momentum. And they have to win those fights. Formal turns 1 kill into a double he doesn't deserve to get. And somehow he does. And now you're seeing the numbers start to line up in the favor of Optic. Those kind of battles need to go your way.
They need to go your way, and it doesn't help that you're going to fire up Formal even more. This man now also gets Camo off the back of that. Like we said, the domino effect of these 1v1s cannot be overstated. You do have a BC hold coming in momentarily, but Formal's going to look to put this Camo snipe to use and start scoring yet again.
Pure meant to play for A. They're going to, I was going to say, it looks like they maybe are going to let him, but Cherished flies in. Does some damage onto Formal, pushes him out of that stronghold, and they do flip A in the meantime. The QT is going to be to the back of B as Lucid is already pushed up for Optic. This is going to be the focus of their push. Trying to turn over B into their favor to continue the scoring. With 2 kills going their way, Formal now steps itself inside of this stronghold, and Optic should be able to flip.
Very efficient B push coming in from Optic Gaming. Now, Pure does well to bring the game within 50. That was essentially a 50-point uncontested run. They keep the game respectable. 2 dead for Optic Gaming. If they can get a few more kills here, this will be big. Yes, 3 dead. Deadzone's your last player alive for a moment.
I mean, Deadzone's last player alive, but LastShot managed to get 2 kills in that situation. He gets the one onto Ness, and then trades inside of the hill, which just stops the conversion, slows everything down, and forces Optic to go back and have to step in there again. Not only is that information you gather from positioning, it means you can work the map elsewhere as well. So Optic Gaming starting to be under a little bit of pressure here, and look at that score. The AB hold is starting to hurt Optic. It's 178 points and rising, and they're looking for the trip here.
It's really an 80-point uncontested run coming in from Pure. This was, as we said, this was just a 100-point game, and now Pure for a momentary had a trip cap, however, losing A. LastShot needs to win this battle here today.
Gonna get the reset. Look at this, he steps out. Damage is done, he played that absolutely perfectly, waiting for the information, and now they're gonna flood onto the respawners from Optic Gaming. Cherished gets the first pick. Second player should be taken down in the back of green as well. That's gonna be Lucid, but he's never an easy kill, and LastShot finds that out, but still manages to get it. It should be a triple cap here, and look at this game. It's turned on its head once more, and in a few moments' time, it will be Pure, who go into a lead as Optic try and flip A.
Over 100 points straight from Pure. Let's not forget, as we said, this game came down to the wire in the last outing. 250 to 238 was your final score. 4 dead for Optic Gaming. A trip cap will continue, and if one more spawn rotation comes in, this could be the game.
This could be the game, and we could be going to a game of 5. The remote detonation comes in, doing damage onto Optic. Optic are trying to flood, but LastShot ain't missing bullets at the moment. Every individual, he is winning. Now Druk stepping up as well. And Optic Gaming, who are so close to closing out the series, well, now they're 4 dead again.
3 dead, Trippy spawning dummies. Trippy spawning dummies. They have to push right now, but it might already be over.
This could be over. This should be over. What a comeback from Pure. This team will never say die. 244 and rising. Desperation from Optic, but it's going surely to be Pure who send us to a game 5.
Oh boy! Championship Sunday starting off with a bang here. You might have thought 30 minutes ago that this series was over. Not so fast, says Pure. The Young Guns, nothing to lose on a Championship Sunday. They rally back, down by 100 in strongholds to win game number 4 and send us to another game 5 against Optic Gaming.
Wow. What a way to start a Championship Sunday. What a series we are seeing in front of us.
Insult to injury there. Coming across station referees over Lucid's shoulder saying we need...
How many points were you down?
We need these stats captured for statistical tracking purposes. Can I please take a picture of that, sir?
Wow.
A tough moment for Optic Gaming, knowing that they should have ended this not only in that game, but they're probably thinking we should have ended this on Solitude as well, because we did not want to head to a game 5.
I want to talk about LastShot. I want to talk about the end of that game.
Yep.
Individual battles add up at times, especially in the clutch moments. He wins 2 massive 1v1s. He then makes the perfect decision on to just wait to bait for A, wait till they step out, then gets the reset. And so much pressure was applied by him, and it goes back to the start where he was in C solo as a first spawner, managed to pick off one on Nest from Optic Gaming, managed to trade again a second player to let his teammates back on the map and force Optic to have to fight for control once more. LastShot had some big moments at the end of that game.
Massive moments, and the way that they controlled those spawns. Also, so much respect for Pure. When you're down by 100 and Optic is up 202 to 111, it is very easy to think, okay, this is our tournament over. Instead, you have these... Look at this double team as well. Trippy tries to challenge from A. He gets immediately turned on. Druk does not let Lucid get away as either. Also, Druk getting that camo, winning that 1v1 at C. All the pieces had to come together for this team to get the comeback win on the board. You could just see, look at the disbelief there on Trippy's face. They know they need to focus up here for this game number 5. Slayer, we are tied 2-2.
Man, you gotta love it. If you're a Halo fan, you'll be enjoying this series. If you're an Optic fan, you may be enjoying it if they win the next one. If you're a Pure fan, maybe you're gonna enjoy it a little bit more if they win this next one. Unfortunately, whoever does come out on the wrong side of this game will be eliminated from the tournament. If you win it though, you're still alive, and we are headed to Aquarius Slayer.
Everything to play for here. It's also worth noting as we take a look at some Map 2 Slayer stats that these two teams have exchanged Slayers in that first series. Pure also took a Slayer off of Optic Gaming. We'll see if they can do it again.
One thing to keep your eye on, of course, in Aquarius Slayer is always eyes on the overshield, right? The runs that you can go on. It could be 10, it can be 12 kills around response if you're efficient enough, and you can use that extra shield you have to take a few more fights. But this is a fascinating game type, in my opinion, to have as a game 5, because this is the one that tests you mentally as a team more than any. You can go down 15-3 in this game type. You can find yourself down 40-20, and you have to have it in the back of your mind that there is a way back into it. Due to the snowballing runs that we can see teams go on, you have to stay in it. You have to stay positive. Your comms need to be clean and crisp. And it almost feels like the perfect game 5 for a series like this.
It really does. I couldn't agree more. And also, Pure's going to remember that no matter how far down they go, they were just trailing by 100, and they came back and they won that game time. So regardless of where we are in the mid game, I agree, we're going to have to see the entirety of this one played out. Just to go through Slayers in our earlier series as well, they were very, very close. It was a Optic 50-46 win on Recharge, and it was a pure 50-45 win on Solitude. Now, the only Aquarius data we really have from these two teams was the game we saw earlier from Optic where they really dominated. However, let's not forget, the Aqua CTF was closer in the first series. That was 4-3. So it just tells you that Pure knows how to play Aquarius. The question is, who's going to come out here firing in Game 5?
Sometimes you look at the history books, you look at the records, and it kind of goes out the window when you get into a Game 5 like this, because the situation is so different in a Game 5 on a Championship Sunday than it is to any other match that you've played throughout the weekend. It's about keeping your composure. It's about taking the individuals and hitting the 5 that you've hit every single day when you're sat at home in matchmaking, in scrims, in the games that you've played up until this point. Because sometimes it can feel like, for some reason, your reticle feels a little bit different than it has before. Controller feels a little bit different in your hands, and that's just pressure, that's just nerves. And the best in the world, well, they're the ones that have the experience to deal with those kind of situations.
I think the keys for me in this series, in this game for both sides is obviously Pure cannot let Formal drop 18 kills again. I think he even had more than that in the end of the game. They really need to keep an eye on Formal, keep him in check. Do not let him absolutely pop off. On the other side, as you said, LastShot started to make some waves at the end of that game, and that was why the comeback was secured. If you're on the side of Optic Gaming as Pure now re-enters the main stage to actually quite a few cheers here in the arena.
One way to make fans, right?
Exactly. I'm not surprised to see that they're building a fan base very, very quickly here in Atlanta. But if you're on the side of Optic Gaming, you cannot let LastShot get up to LastShot things. You have to think that man's going to be coming in with momentum off of that comeback win. I think those are really your two X factors in this series, which either team shuts down the opposing X factor, I think takes this game.
Keep an eye on who controls that heat wave as well. It's almost like there's so many things to talk about when it comes to a Game 5 that you forget sometimes the basics, right? Sometimes you're focusing on the overshield, you're focusing on a kill that got away, and that heat wave can be something that really can help you just get the kill without the trade, right? It's those little things that start to stack up. So keep an eye on Coast, Box, and Trey, of course, behind their respective teams. To be keeping their eyes up with the stopwatches, by the way. Stopwatches. Notepads these days.
Notepads, yeah.
We are rolling it back.
Analog
for good. But it's such an important thing to keep an eye on, right? Because that can be the difference between a 2-kill swing in a game, a 2-kill swing in a push, which then starts to exacerbate into 6, 8, 10 kills. So every little thing that's on the map at the moment. You heard it from the Optic listening on Aquarius, right? Didn't get overshield, let's play for combo. You heard it from Box. That was their counteract to it, playing the other side of the map on the car. So a lot of things to keep in mind here, but I do really feel like this is a game based on experience. This is a game built for those teams and players who have the ice.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we look back at that also, that game 2, Recharge Slayer. It was tied up for a good bit, then it was 7-5, then it quickly became something like 18-11 or so. It was really an early lead that Optic then just ran with for the rest of the game. They got the cushion. And if you're on the side of Pure, you cannot give Optic Gaming that cushion. Do not let them get comfortable. Don't let them get back-to-back 3-4 deads. Stay with them through this game. Look to play to the mid game and see what you can do. That'll be the key for Pure. Optic, though, is going to look to repeat their Game 2 Slayer performance.
Well, it's the Giants of Optic Gaming versus the Giant Slayers of Pure. We are headed to a Game 5. And if Pure managed to win this one, it would be a reverse sweep of Optic Gaming, who are 2 to the good in this series. Aqua Slayer is going to be our battleground. We're going to start off with the last shot. Let's see if he has it in this game.
Really is a battle here of David versus Goliath in the biggest way. A team that's been world champions before up against a player who's only on the main stage for his 3rd time in history here. First few kills go to Optic Gaming.
Optic Gaming will get that first power up as well. The overshield will go over to them, and that's just a great way to maybe just quell the nerves and the frustrations of what happened in that previous game.
I agree.
You're trying to kind of tick off in the checkbox, right? They get it done.
Yeah, I agree. It's a big momentum boost for them. They can now just make this push happen. However, LastShot doubles back. He burns a lot of the overshield, and now there's no more overshield left here for the Deadzone push.
Heatwave is in the hands of Lucid, though. Cherished! Cherished! Oh my goodness, that is a big big win coming in, and I gotta say, usually I'm not a fan of a little bit of a teabag, but that one maybe you deserved it.
4 dead and a body melee as well. LastShot was the last player alive. He retreated into the back of the base, and he got 4 or so clean shots on the overshield to make it so by the time Deadzone pushed in, he was at full shields, not an overshield, and then Cherished wins the 1v1. This is gonna be a bloodbath here. Pure now answers back. They're up 7-4 off the opening.
2 dead for Optic Gaming. Formal gets 1 just to slow down the attempted collapse and the push coming in from the rest of Pure. But Cherished, I love what I'm seeing from him right now. The amount of damage he's outputting, just peeking and prodding and kind of shoulder peeking every bit of cover that he has. Information being gathered as well as Lucid finally gives Optic a way out with that kill onto Druk.
I like that from Cherished. Just lots of damage all across the map, look. And then he immediately relocates from Fridge as well. He knows he can't stay in one place. TriPPPeY knew he was there. See if they can capitalize on the damage.
Finally gets flushed out here on the pink side by Optic Gaming, and we are seeing the game start to get a little bit closer. Optic Gaming, off the back of the pure play inside of their base, now take control once more. 10-9 in their favor. It's a slender lead, but who cares what the lead is as long as it's yours at the end of this game.
Big answer back there. Cherished tried to do as much damage as he could, but it was not capitalized on. In the end, as you said, he gets sniffed out. Overshield popping right now.
Should be an Optic one again. Will be an Optic one again. LastShot gets a little bit of damage onto Formal. Formal will take him down though. There should be a second one here. The combo does hit, but the overshield has done its job. A double kill for Formal.
Yeah, Cherished their sacrifice there to make sure the overshield goes. However, it's a 4-kill lead. That's a 4-kill clean wipe as well. Now good damage from Formal. He's gonna play this cautiously.
6-3, again Formal. Double positive at the start of this game. 4 kills the advantage here for Optic Gaming as Druk tries to find a little bit of an escape for them. Trapped in that gen at the moment, and you got to be worried here for Pure, just being trapped in the base, not for the first time. They're trying to make a push on the pink side. Formal turns around to try and communicate to his teammates where the push is coming in, but while he does that, there's a flying Pure member coming at him.
Eventually those 2 kills traded out once again, 16-11 now. They're gonna be happy to trade at this level once again. It sounds like at the 16-11 mark, we have Optic Gaming. Listen, let's get into the comms.
Take your time, take your time.
I need it. 2 here. Yeah,
On the door, 1 shot.
Window, man. Where's Andy? Window's Andy.
Window shots in? Nope.
I see.
Peter weak.
Leaving that.
Window weak, Peter weak. Both in, both. I think they're going gen. I think they're going gen. I think they're going gen on that. I think they're going on that.
I hear that.
Help.
Hide.
That's long car 1. What's it? High, push back. Out L2, and L3. L2, L3. Watch out, P1, absolute. Look out there. L3, Taulek, go check up in.
Spawn yellow.
Absolute.
Spawn up 80. Listen, stay alive, Fridge. Watch him, Matt. We should break out towards gen here, Joey. Try to get to our gen.
I kind of want to go front car class. Yeah, me too.
Our gen. High gen and car 3. I hear that. I'm here. There was a guy P2. Break out with me. Break out with
On me.
You're gonna have
2 guys. 2.
1 shot.
That's one more.
Drop.
Both B jump. P1 behind you guys, yellow behind you guys.
Blue wall. Blue street, Joey.
Yellow street.
Watch out on P1. Watch out on it. You got it.
Blue car jump. Blue car jump.
You want with the car jump. Blue car jump. You want to go
shot.
Front yellow, guys. Front yellow.
We have a combo. He's front blue. He's going front blue. He's going car jump. Out of OB, car 3.
He's one shot. This guy yellow gen and yellow P. Yellow gen and P.
Top middle weak. One shot front.
Front yellow and yellow car.
Yellow car,
front yellow.
Yellow car jump.
I don't see him.
He's front yellow somewhere, guys.
Yo, bottom middle on me. Bottom middle P1.
Nice, I'm pushing this, guys. I'm pushing.
Car 2.
R2 weak.
Stay alive, Joey. Stay alive, Joey.
Yellow gen. Car 2. 2 car 2.
Two shot. Trap here.
Two there.
Stuck me. Rust is down car 2, guys.
I got it. 2 going out blue P.
Get up top.
One in your closet. One in your blue closet.
Yo, don't fuck with Jen.
Yo, get up top, guys.
Going for yellow flag. Look P.
I'm trying to go here, Joe. I'm trying to go yellow P for you.
Yo, pick one.
I don't see him.
He's there.
Hold on, I think there's another guy.
Dead. He waved down.
Car 3.
Get thrust, guys. Get the thrust down there. It's he waved thrust down, guys. 2 dead.
I'm going P. Live.
Still down.
Shooting out. He's on the street weak. I'm in the bridge.
We got yellow flag. Yellow flag. He went jet bridge, man.
P2.
Tell me I'm looking
Blue P2. Yep. P2. 3 here.
Sitting P2.
Hop in, have shields.
Yo, one guy yellow P1.
Going jet.
2 guys yellow P door. 2 guys yellow P door in the flag.
Yo, this guy blue.
Out the listening, and Optic find themselves at 3 in the death screen. It's Pure who have a lead as they cross the 30 kill mark first.
We talked about how they needed to not just stay with Optic Gaming here through the mid game, but try to get a lead if they can, and they've done just that. You just saw how frustrating it was for Optic Gaming to try to get the kills that they were looking for, and it continues. Now at 33-29, it's a 4-kill lead for Pure for the first time in the game.
Huge moment in this game about to come up. Overshield is popping. Lucid gets the first kill on the pig side, tries to play his life as all of the attention on the map now floods towards P1. It's been 2 overshields that have gone to Optic Gaming. Pure, their momentum started from the pickup that they got from that overshield.
3 players there outside. They're going to need to try to pre-nade this overshield and hope that the nades hit. They do not. I think it's going to be a clean grab. It is for Lucid.
Huge moment in this game now. Optic have the chance to push, to be aggressive, and to turn this game back into their favor. Taulek, oh, we might get a bit more damage as the reload had to come in. It's 2 dead on side of Pure, though. Again, the overshield has created the opening, and we have a tied game. Optic going to the lead as Deadzone finds 1.
Ooh, it's a staggered 4 dead. You see 2 spawners spawning across the map there. They're going to get those splits. The spawners now additionally will likely spawn with them as well on the back of the base. And just like that, as you say, Optic Gaming plays the overshield perfectly. They time it, they get the control, they also get the push, and they lead by 1.
Forward with the battle rifle in his hands, just trying to lay down damage across the map for the rest of his team. And that damage is being cleaned up at the moment. Cherished is going to get chased down by Formal. Formal should clean this one up, but Cherished has already shown that he is no easy kill. Respect being shown by Formal in that situation. Let's TriPPPeY get that finishing kill.
Largely what we talked about, Formal and LastShot have been really kept to a minimum once again. +2 for Formal, even for LastShot. 41-36 here on the home stretch.
Seeing a 5-kill difference, the biggest difference we feel like we've seen for this whole game, and Lucid 14-7.
Huge.
Double positive in this game. A game 5 which Optic quite simply need to win.
You might have shut down Formal, but you forgot about Lucid. Double positive in a game that they're winning by 5.
Deadzone gets another one as well. He's been quietly going about his business. Pure maybe have 1 or 2 moments to not go their way, but that's one that does go their way. They managed to get Optic 3 dead, and TriPPPeY's last alive. He's going to fall as well, and Pure are back into this.
Somehow Cherished gets that trade. Just like that, it's a 3-kill game. Not so fast. There were Let's Go Optic chants in the room. Big kills coming in here. 45th goes to Optic.
Overshield's coming up as well. Overshield's coming up, but Optic again the kills beforehand. And this might be the game and the series being decided right in front of your eyes as the flank coming in, but Deadzone gets the overshield. It's 3 to go for Optic.
Double stack on the overshield. It pays off for Optic Gaming. He's going to try to clean out the fridge.
Damage being done. Taulek, he'll get the kill, but Formal's there. Formal's hungry. Lucid wants it, but it will be Formal, and it will be Optic Gaming who ice up in a game 5 here in Atlanta.
Trailing at the 30-kill mark, but they find the ice, they find the resilience, and they lean on the experience to ensure that they close out in the series, and they send Pure home, ending what has been a Cinderella story for those 4 players.
An incredible run from Pure, an amazing performance from them this tournament. Great to have Druk back on that main stage, showing what we have been missing, but unfortunately for them, 1 step too far in this series. It went all the way to a game 5. You can see how much it hurts, and you mentioned how sometimes going on the main stage without the bad memories is a good thing. Well, unfortunately for LastShot, there's some good memories to take away, but at the same time, this one's gonna hurt.
Man, what a moment there. LastShot with his head kicked back there. A lot to think about on the main stage, and it was just, you gotta be thinking, he's probably thinking moments ago it was 43-41 and we were making a car push. In the end, though, they get taken down. Optic Gaming ices up. They take the 5th game.
They certainly do indeed. A crazy series, an amazing series to set us up for Championship Sundays as well. And you've got to give credit to Optic, right? You've got to give credit to Optic. The way they fought back in that game, the way they fought back, I would say in the tournament overall as well, to be here, to still be here in that elimination bracket. They've got some more Halo to play.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And that's what we heard from Lucid this morning, right? They're ready to make a run, and it came down to the wire, let me tell you. That was closer than they certainly wanted. Probably too close for comfort for a lot of Optic fans in the room as well. But in the end, they avoid the reverse sweep narrowly, and they close out the game.
Yeah, impressive stuff coming in from Optic in those final moments. And it was all about the overshields, right? We saw it coming up, and I think me and you kind of caught eyes at one point. It's like, there's time for 1 more overshield here. This could well decide the game, and decide it. It did indeed. But that's it from the caster's desk for now. Blaze, you've got an interview down on the main stage with an Optic Gaming member. Who have you got for us?